Hey, what's up adventurers? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be about Ghost and the Dogo Argentino. If you're interested in buying a Dogo Argentino, this might be a good video for you to watch because I'm going to cover some of the tips and tricks that I went through with Ghost as far as his eating habits goes. Now, generally Mastiffs are giant breeds and they like to eat a lot. I've seen a lot of videos, I've seen a lot of documentaries, read books that the breed itself is kind of more chill. They're a little bit more lazy. They're not as active as other dogs, but they consume so much food regardless because they're so large, right? So with that comes the ability for them not to stop themselves from eating. So for example, I have two large dogs, right? One gets his bowl of food, the other one gets his bowl of food. Boom, boom, they're eating their food. They always do the same thing. They eat their food, they swap, they eat each other's food, and then Fan's kind of like, all right, I'm full, and leaves like a little bit, right? He'll leave like maybe half a cup, let's say. Ghost eats his 2 cups or 3 cups, goes back, finishes Fan, and then still tries to find more food to eat. And that's how Ghost is. Ghost thinks that food is food and I need to consume it now and I need to devour any type of food that's in front of me. And he'll be scavenging the entire house for food, and I'm like, yo, like, calm down, bro. Like, you're eating what you're supposed to. Chill. Now, when it comes to raw food, it's the same thing. He can eat his entire meal and still have room for more. So if I come back inside and there's a little bit food in the bowl from earlier, he'll go and smell it and just start scooping it up. And I'm like, really? Now, what's interesting is that he doesn't do that all the time. Okay? He sometimes likes to eat as much as he can, but other times he'll walk by the food and he'll eat till he's full, basically. And he doesn't try to eat more than that. Now, I'm not sure exactly why that is. Maybe he's usually just hungrier. Some days, maybe we didn't go for a walk or a run that day and he wasn't that tired to eat. I don't know. But are they picky eaters? Is your Dogo Argentino gonna be a picky eater? Luckily, no. You're not gonna have any issues with. You shouldn't. I'm not gonna say you're not, and then you go buy a Dogo Argentino because I said that, and then you're like, yo, dude. Yeah, guess what? I have all sorts of problems with him. He doesn't eat anything. Like, okay, I'm sorry. My Dogo Argentino doesn't have any issues eating. He's very, very good at eating. It sounds weird saying that, but he's a good dog as far as what you're gonna feed him, because like I mentioned in my other video about Fan, he's a very picky eater. Ghost, zero problems. Ghost is all about just food. All he worries about it's his bowl landing, and then he just goes and just starts munching everything down, and that's awesome. That gives you so much leverage as far as what food you want to buy him, what time you should feed him, where you should feed him, because he's gonna eat whatever time, anywhere, any place. And I think that's a really good thing to have in a dog. So you're not gonna run into many issues with your Dogo Argentino not eating. Now, again, if he goes about a day or 2 days without eating and he's lethargic, he's pooping a lot, diarrhea, he's vomiting, then that's not him not wanting to eat his food. You need to take him to the vet at that point. There's something wrong with your dog. If it's more like your dog is the same exact dog as the day before and now he kind of just doesn't want to eat his food, maybe he's fasting himself. Sometimes dogs do that, and maybe he's just not hungry. There is days where Ghost just barely eats, and it's all about understanding your dog and what kind of cues they give off. The more time you spend with your dog, you start noticing like, okay, that's kind of off, right? So with the Dogo Argentino, them not eating could be a little red flag. If his energy levels are a little bit low, maybe he's changing. That's something that you might want to consider. But other than that, you're gonna have a dog that's very open-minded to what he consumes. A dog that is 100% down to eat anything, raw food especially. He's not that proficient at eating at it, like you've seen in some of my videos where he's kind of just like sliding it across the entire house. I'm just like, bro. But he eats anything, and that's something that really helps a lot if you're in a busy lifestyle and you're kind of like, you know what, I don't have the time to feed raw and my dog ignores every food I have. If your dog is, okay, let's say you buy a Dogo Argentino and he does decide to ignore the type of food you're buying him, I would generally lean to grain-free food. maybe something with more beef than fish. I've noticed that Ghost kind of does have a little tendency to prefer beef kibble than fish. So if he's still doing that and he's the same self, just he leaves the bowl there. All you have to do is leave the bowl there. Eventually, he's gonna get hungry enough to where, and trust me, he's gonna get hungry. Especially a Dogo Argentino, he's gonna get hungry. They're huge, and they run around, and they get tired in like 30 minutes. So leave the bowl there, and eventually he's gonna be hungry enough. He's gonna go and he's gonna eat as much as he wants to, and then he's gonna come back and probably do the same thing the next day, and just keep repeating the process. I personally don't have this problem with Ghosts where I feed them half kibble, half raw. So in the morning I feed kibble. I don't have a problem with him skipping his morning meal because he knows he's gonna get fed. Like, he's hungry enough to where he wants to eat his morning meal and then his dinner meal. So that's something to consider too. Are you feeding him raw and maybe he's prioritizing his raw food over his kibble food? Take the raw food away. Give him only kibble until he starts eating it, and then introduce it back, and make sure that he continues eating it, and just keep repeating the process until it's established in his mind that he needs to eat in the morning because he's not too sure if he's gonna get raw at night, right? So that's basically it, guys. You know, there's not that many problems with the Dogo Argentino. If I answered any of your doubts or questions that you might have had, make sure you pull that like button. If you're part of the 88% of the people that watch my videos that are not subscribed, make sure you do subscribe and leave a comment down below. Nothing but peace and love from my pack to yours.